Everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the City Lights 2.0 bracelet. And this is a bracelet that is made using the component, the center component from the City Lights bracelet, which is this bracelet, and the bezeled Rivoli from the Interlace Mini ring. So those are two videos that I'll pop up links for you in case you'd like to make either one of those. So I've just taken those two components and made a bracelet out of it and a pair of earrings. So we'll look at it real quick. So here it is, and if you use a stone that isn't foiled on the back, you can reverse it because it's pretty on the back too, like that. So if you have foiled stones, or you have a color that is foiled, then it's just pretty on the inside and outside, which I always like. All right, so just a note before we get started. I don't think this is a beginner project. I think that the components are a beginner can do. But I think you need sort of a working knowledge of CRAW. You need to have done a bit of CRAW before you start doing circles, connecting the circles, and doing these sort of intricate connections here between the units. So if you're a beginner, I would never tell you not to do anything. I wouldn't say don't do it, but if you're a beginner, take your time, go slowly, maybe look at a couple of CRAW videos. I'll pop up a link up for my CRAW videos. I have a lot of them that use bigger beads. I'll put some in the description box also. So just beware if you're a beginner. I just don't want you to get super frustrated and, get mad at me. All right? Okay, so I'm going to clear the decks and get a materials list going, and we'll get started on this bracelet. Oh, one more thing. The earring. We're not going to do a video on the earring because the earring is the bracelet, because we're going to make these components and then we're going to connect them. So here's the earring right here. So when you learn how to connect the components for the bracelet, you have an earring right here. You just put an ear hook on it. All right, so I'm going to clear the decks and we'll get started. See you in a minute. Let's get a materials list going. So you'll need some Rivolis or Rivolis, and this is a 12 millimeter. I'm using a foiled back just so you can see what it looks like with the foiling on the back. 11/0 seed bead. This is the dark nickel silver, a 15/0. This is matte metallic silver, a 3 millimeter bicone. I'm using a 3 millimeter pearl. I'm using white pearls. These are Swarovski Pearls. You'll need a clasp, and I have 3 examples here of clasps. Now, if you have an unfoiled Rivoli and you're making the reversible one, you want to make sure your clasp looks good on both sides. So this is my clasp here. It's this one. I can't find the other bar for some reason. So when I close it, this side, this shows, and when I close it on this side, this shows, like this. So it reverses nicely. So here's one that, of course, any of these toggles, that aren't, that have a design and look pretty on both sides, fine, or no design. And here I have a adjustable toggle, which is something that could be nice for this as well. I've got some 8-pound Fireline, size 11 beading needle, a little stop bead right there. If you're doing the earrings, you'll need some ear hooks or posts or whatever you like. I will put amounts in the description box under the video. So gather up your materials and we'll get started making these components. All right, see you in a few. So let's get started. First we're going to make the mini pieces. So we're going to bezel our Rivolis, and then we're going to make the circles, and we're going to put the whole thing together. So let's get started with the Rivoli. So thread your needle with about 3 feet of thread, put on a stop bead, and leave about a 15-inch tail. That way you can use that tail to sew the unit to the next unit. Pick up 1 pearl and 4 11/0 seed beads. I'm going to pull in for this. Drop those down to your stop bead. Come up the first seed bead after the pearl. When I pull, I got a little right angle weave unit next to my pearl. Pick up a pearl. And 4 11/0s. Drop those down next to your right angle weave unit. Come up the first 11-0 after the pearl. And if it travels a little, just pull it back. You want to make, this is the front of your bezel, so you want to make sure all your beads are snug up against each other. Pick up a pearl and 4 11-0s. Drop them down. Come up the first 11-0 after the pearl. So we have, so I want you to just keep doing that until you have 8 pearls and 8 little right angle weave units. And then meet me back here and we'll make it into a circle. Okay, so I have my 8 pearls and my 8 right angle weave units on, and of course this one pearl is going to be is not attached yet because that's the first one we put on. So here we're going to make it into a circle. So just come on around through the whole thing again. So you're coming through the pearl and the 11-0, pearl 11-0. Just get that into a circle to start. See? Then I'm going to come around. Come through all the beads again. Make sure your units make nice little right angle weave units. Mine sort of popped out there a little bit. So I'm just sewing around, and I'm going to come past where my tail thread and stop bead is by a few beads, a few units. I want to come out one of the 11-0s, but I just want to get past the stop bead. Okay, just like that. Come up the side seed bead and the top seed bead of the unit you're coming out of. You're going to pick up a 15-0, a pearl, and a 15-0. Coming out of this bead of this unit, the top bead of this little right angle weave unit, let's hop over to the next. Pick up a 15-0, an 11-0, and a 15-0. Through the top seed bead of the next unit. Pick up a 15-0, a pearl, and a 15-0 through the next one. Pick up a 15-0, 11-0, and a 15-0. And you're going to keep doing that until you come down to the end. So you're just going to alternate 15-0, pearl 15-0, and then a 15-0, 11-0, 15-0, and then you're going to come all the way around till you get to the end here, and then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, so we're coming down to the last set of beads, so I'm coming out of here. I'm just picked up my 15-0, 11-0, 15-0. I'm just going to come through the top seed bead of the next unit. That's going to be that one right there. Make sure you do the top one. Now I have all my beads on to this point. So what I want you to do is advance through this 15-0, the pearl, the 15-0, the 11-0, the 15-0, and out this center 11-0 between the two pearls. Now it's starting to cup. All right. Pick up 5 15-0s. Coming out of this 11-0, right here, it's right in between these two pearls, it's the center 11-0 right there. Just hop over to the next one, that 11-0 in between the two pearls. make sure these beads go in front of the pearl, or in back, or right there. Pick up 5, 15-ohs, do that again, coming out of here, through this one. Okay, do that 2 more times until you get to the end, and then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, we're back, so we're at the last group of 5, so I've put on my 5 beads and I'm just going to come through this last 11-oh right here. So make sure those pop in the front. Alright, so here it is, and I'm going to put my stone in. Just gonna, you can open it up, you know, just use your finger to kind of open it up a little bit, and then get your stone in. You have to play with it with your thumb a little bit. And when I pull, it starts to close it up a little bit. This is what the other side looks like. Now we have to make sure everybody is connected here. So you have your stone in. Now you want to sew around this, the whole thing that you did, this whole set of beads you put on here. So the 15-ohs and the 11-oh. 15-ohs, 11-oh, 15-ohs. 11-oh. Just keep going. If you can't get them all at once, just go through a few at a time. You can do that a couple of times. That would be good. And you can, at this point, you can leave that thread. At this point, you can turn it around and take off your stop bead, and then sew through. Don't take it off like that. Take it off nicely. And then sew through all your beads. I got a little pearl, like stuff stuck there. That's from my pearl. And then just sew through all your beads. And you can tie a couple of half-hitch knots and save this thread also, because I'm giving you thread on both ends, so you can use it to sew the units together. You'll have extra, but I always like to have enough so that if one end is short, then I can use the other end. All right, so do that. Reinforce the front. Reinforce it so it's nice and tight. So you're going to come around a couple of times, and then you can tie a couple of half-hitch knots before the pearls, and then just leave your thread, and maybe we'll use that thread later to sew it together, or maybe we'll use this one. Not sure. All right, so meet me back here when you're done with this. Okay, I'm just back for a second. Just for those of you who haven't done this before, just keep coming around so here I've taken off my stop bead. I'm coming on the front just to give you a little demo on how to get this done. So I'm just coming around. So just come all the way around your beads here and come out of an 11-oh like that. And you can just slip your needle under, make a little half-hitch knot like that, and then come on through. It doesn't affect the bezel at all. And then you're done with the front. All right, so I thought I'd just throw that in. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. Now we're going to make this cubic right angle weave component. So thread your needle with about 5 feet of thread. This takes a lot of thread, each one of these components. Put on a stop bead and just leave enough of a tail to sew in. So we're going to pick up one pearl, one 11-oh, a pearl, and 11-oh. I'm going to drop those down to the stop bead. And I'm going to sew up through all the beads to make it into a circle. I'm going to continue around past the stop bead, so come through this pearl, this 11-oh, down through this pearl, This is what I have. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a pearl, and an 11-0. Coming out of this pearl, I'm just going to come around through the other side. So the end of this, the bottom of this pearl, I'm coming around through the top to add on another unit. I'm going to advance my needle through the 11-0. Through this pearl. I'm going to do that again. An 11-0, a pearl, and an 11-0. Coming out of the top of this pearl. It's going to come through the other side. I'm going to advance through this 11-0. Down through this pearl. This is what I have so far. So I'm going to stop here for you beginners who haven't done this before. And I just want to say that I'm going to pop up some links to cubic right angle weave because I do have several videos that explain this, really in depth. But I'll stop at this point anyway, and then maybe back here and we'll make this into a cube. Okay. So we're going to make this into a cube. So I'm always trying new ways to make this into a cube they're really easy to follow. So here's another way. Okay, instead of folding it up or, there are just many different ways to do it. So pick up an 11-0, coming out of this pearl, just come through this 11-0 on the other side. See that? I'm going to leave this loose and open so you can see the thread path, because sometimes understanding the thread path can make a difference in understanding the stitch. Pick up an 11-0, coming out of this pearl, I'm going to come back through this one. When I push that 11-0 over, you see the thread path there? And then when I pull these, trust me, when you pull this up, just go like that, it turns into a cubic right angle weave unit. So you see, that is a very easy way of doing this. So you'll be coming out of a pearl. So I want you to, so let's say you're coming out like this. Just turn it so that your seed beads are facing you here. And what you want to do here is sew these together. They're not connected. You'll see there's not a thread between them. So just come around all those beads. So I'm just going to put my needle through those two. I'm going to come through. This is so tiny. I'm just going to move my piece a little bit. Come through this one. I'm going to come up through this one and this one again, just so I have a thread between all those beads. So this is what it looks like. All right, now so I have a thread connecting all those beads. So I want to get to the other side where the seed beads aren't connected. So I'm just going to turn my piece like this. I'm coming out of this seed bead. I'm just going to pop through this pearl right here. And that's just going to place me up here where the other seed beads aren't connected. See how they're all wonky? And I'm just going to go around all these beads. On the other videos, if you haven't seen them, I do it with really big beads, so it's really easy. So I'm just going to keep coming around until I've gotten a thread between each seed bead. Okay, so here I am. So now my cube is all sewn in and complete. I'm going to just rotate it this way so the pearls are facing this way, coming out of that seed bead. I'm just going to advance my needle through this pearl. Like that. And I'm going to stop at this point to let you get here. This is the hardest part. Get to this point and then meet me back here and we'll add units. Okay, let's add some units. So pick up an 11-0, a pearl, and an 11-0. Coming out of this pearl here, the top of this pearl, just come on around. rotate the piece towards you. Advance your needle through the next seed bead right here. So you're just constantly turning it around so that you can add beads. Pick up 2 11-ohs, come through this one, come up through this one. To attach that unit, rotate your piece, advance your needle through the next pearl. Pick up an 11-oh and a pearl. Through this one. Up through this one. Like that. Rotate the piece towards you. Advance your needle through the next seed bead. You have 3 beads on here now, so to complete this side, you just need to put 1 more bead on. So come through the top seed bead, pick up a bead, come through this one. Now your unit's on. Advance through this one, through this one. Rotate the piece towards you, through this one. I want you to reinforce all the beads. So we're just going to go around all these top beads just to sew the beads together here. Okay, so now we're sewn together. When you look at them, you have a thread between each bead. And now you're just going to continue that last step until you have 18 of your pearls on, and then meet me back here and we'll make it into a circle. All right, see you in a few. Okay, I've got my 18 units on here, my 18 pearls, and now we're going to connect this and make it into this circle, like that. So I've pulled in really close for this. In fact, I think I'm a little too close. So I'm coming out of a pearl here. And I'm going to make this into a circle. I'm going to use our seed beads to attach everybody. So pick up an 11-oh. Coming out of here, just come through the one on the other side. Like that. Pick up an 11-oh, come back through that original pearl you were coming out of. Got that first connection made. Like that. Rotate the piece towards you. Now you're going to connect these seed beads. So if you notice, I know it's hard to tell, I'll pull in really tight for you to see the seed beads here. I have this bead, and this bead. I have 3 beads of this next unit, so I need to add 1 bead. All right, I'll try to stay here. So I'm just going to rotate. I'm going to advance my needle through this seed bead. I'm going to pick up a seed bead and come down this seed bead. It's putting on number 4 seed bead, like that. I'm going to come through this one and this one to secure that unit. Now we have that face on. I'm sorry, I just have to come back a little bit because my camera is, I think it's blurring. I'm going to rotate the piece towards me until I'm at this face now, and I'm just going to come up. So I'm coming out of the seed bead. I'm just going to come up this pearl like that. So now I have to connect this side. So I have a pearl, a seed bead, and a pearl. So all I have to do is add a seed bead. So pick up an 11-oh, coming out of here, come through this one, so we're all connected, but I just want to, where we have all our beads on, I just want to connect them. So come through this seed bead, this pearl. Now that face is connected. And now we just need, we don't have to add any more beads, but it's hard to see, but there are 4 beads in here. And I hope this is, that you can see it. So I'm coming out of this pearl. This bead, these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, let me do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to just sew through them to connect the beads. I know it's hard to see them, but you will see them. They're not connected. Those 4 right there. Okay, so I'm just going to come through this one. So the seed bead directly after the pearl you're coming out of. This one right here. Okay, so let me pop the needle in and then you can see where it is. See? 2. I have to put my needle through here to get to the next one. And then this one, right here. So it's that unit that's attached. That's the side seed bead of that unit. That's 3. And then back through this one. Like that. And you're just sewing that unit together. And you will see that. You will see that when you look at it. It's hard to see it on camera, but you'll see it. And then you can, at this point, just reinforce your unit and go around like we've been doing, you know, and go through, let's say we come through this pearl, and then, you know, just sew around it again, and then put a couple of half hitch knots in, and then you have your circles. All right, so get that done. And so here we're going to do a little numbers here for the bracelet. So my bracelet is, let me just hold on a second, let me get a, okay, here we go, sorry about that. Let me get a tape measure. So my completed bracelet with the clasp is exactly 7 inches. So for my 7-inch bracelet, 4 of my circles and 3 of my little minis or Rivolis works perfectly. The clasp itself is not that much. We're just adding these beads. Now you can adjust here a little bit. So if you need some more space and you're going to have to add more units on or more circles. But if it doesn't work out so that it fits around your wrist, you can use an adjustable clasp, like an adjustable toggle like I showed you, or you can make these units a little bit longer here. This is, you can work with this. Or you can end, with 2 of these guys, so you can play with that a little bit to get the fit right. But for this 7-inch bracelet, it works out perfectly with 4 of these and 3 of these guys. All right? Okay, so get your pieces together and then meet me back here and we'll attach everything and make a bracelet. Okay, so before we start sewing these components together, I'm just going to give you the setup for sewing them. All right? So I've marked my components here, and here we go. Okay, I just wanted to get a pin. So I've marked the center of the CRAW units. So I marked this pearl and this pearl. I have 8 above, 8 below. Then I marked my Rivolis. So if you see here, so I have these 2 marked. I have 3 above, 3 below. My 2 pearls are 4 pearls on the back. I marked these 2, and these 2. So now you know the progression of attaching. So if you look closely, I'm going to pull in super close. We're going to make CRAW units, 2 CRAW units. We're going to use this bead and to connect to this bead. And we're going to be using this whole unit. So there's a whole right angle weave unit here that we're going to connect to make a CRAW unit. And each CRAW unit is going to be an individual, independent unit. We're not connecting them together. So you see, this is how it looks. It's hard to see with all silver. But there are two units, two CRAW units here, and they're independent of one another. It just works out really well that way. So this is how you're connecting. You want to make sure your threads are coming out of this seed bead and this seed bead, okay? So on each one of these, my threads are coming out here. If they're not, just move your threads around. You know, go on the back. If you're coming out one of these seed beads, you just want to needle through until you get to the front of your bezel, and you want to be coming out of the beads that I'm showing you right here. All right, so this is a setup. If you you can take a screenshot of this so that you know exactly. Let me just pull out a teeny bit so I don't miss that pearl. Okay, there you go. So take a screenshot, pause it, whatever. You don't want, you don't want to mark your pearls. These pearls, don't panic, don't worry. I use these pearls over and over again for demonstration purposes, so they are pretty messy, and I've been using them for a long time. So I do sacrifice certain things to teach. So don't worry about the pearls; they'll be okay. So this is the setup right here. So get your stuff set up. I mean, you could even mark your own pearls, maybe with a pencil, something that will come off. This is a permanent marker. All right, so get this set up, and then I'll show you how to sew the unit together. All right, see you in a few. Okay, let's do some connections here. So I just have these 3 pieces here because it's just going to be the same connection all the way down. So I'm just going to pull this one aside. Okay, I left the little dots on there. All right, so I have my thread coming out of this seed bead right here. I'm going to use a contrasting color, and I'm going to pick up an 11-0, and I'm working with these 2 beads and these 2 beads and the whole unit there. So I'm coming out of here. I'm going to come through this one. I'll leave my thread path showing for now just to see if that's helpful. Then I'm going to come back through this one. Let me just pull it through and I'll show you the thread path. Like that. Okay. I'm going to pull. And I have the first face of that first CRAW unit on. So I'm just going to rotate my piece, and I'm going to try and see if you can see which beads I'm going to be working with. So this is the next face. So I rotated my piece, I'm going to come through the next bead. All right, so this is just, just like a regular CRAW, only we're doing it in, to attach 2 pieces. So we have this bead, and this bead. So we need a 4th bead to connect that face in there. So I'm just going to pick up a bead and come through this one. Now I have my 2nd face on. I'm going to come through this one. I'm going to come through this one. I'm going to rotate my piece, and I'm going to come through just this 11-0. Like that. So now I have this bead, and this bead. Need to add a bead. Come through this one. Through this one. Come back through this one. I'm going to rotate my piece. I'm going to come through the next bead. Right there. I'm going to sew around this unit. So just these 4 beads. So we don't need to add any beads. We're just sewing around the unit, or this face of the unit. I'm going around here. Just so I can keep moving. I'm going to rotate. And I've finished that unit. So I'm going to come up through this one. So you see where I'm back where my dots are. I'm going to come through the pearl, and if I can get it at the same time, the next 11 oh. Like that. And that's going to get me ready to put on the next face. So here, let me get my dot back there. So you see I have my first connection on. All right, so get that done and then meet me back here and we'll do the second connection. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So let's get the second connection on. But I'm not going to start here, because if I were to start here, then when I got to the inside face of my CRAW unit, I wouldn't be able to secure it. So I'm going to move my needle from here to here. So I'm just going to come through this one. I'm going to come through this one and then out the bottom one. And then I'm going to connect this unit right here to this unit. So I've just chosen this one, so it's this one and this one. So I'm going to pick up, we're just going to do the inside connection first. So I'm going to pick up a bead. I'm coming out of here, I'm going to go through this one. Pick up another one. Come back through the one I originally started from. And now I have that one side on. So then I'm just going to come back through this one. Through this one. So we're working from the inside out. Going to rotate. Okay. And then I'm going to advance this way. Then I have 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. So these 3 right here. Pick up a bead. Come through this one. Come through this one. Come through this one. It's like that. Rotate. Come through this one. Now I have these 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. Pick up 1. Come through this one. Through this one. This one. Now we have that face on. I'm going to rotate and I'm going to come back through this one. And I'm going to come through this one. So I'm going to do the front. 2, just going to reinforce. 3 and 4. Like that. And now I have all my beads on. Right? And then you're just going to sew in, just sew your thread in around here and tie some half-hitch knots. Alright, so get that done and meet me back here and we'll start with the clasp. Okay, we're almost done, so we're going to get this clasp on now. So we're going to work on this clasp, and with this clasp, because it has a little larger loop, you can fit these 2, do this sort of double strand attachment this way. With this one, it's going to be a little different. So I'm going to show you this attachment with this one, and when I put the toggle bar on, I'll show you how to connect with a smaller loop, just in case you can't get this bigger one. Alright, so we're going to connect in the same place that we sewed our units together. So here are my 2 marked pearls, and I'm going to work with these 2 units here. So thread and needle, I'm going to move this, thread and needle with about a couple of feet of thread, stop bead, leave about a tail to sew in. You want about 8 inches so you can sew this in nicely. Just going to come through this bead, so we're working with the 2 units on the sides of this pearl, on the side of this pearl. Okay, so just like that. Pick up I'm going to use these contrasting beads. So pick up an 11/0, a pearl, an 11/0, come through, your the loop on your loop, turn it around like this, pick up an 11/0, a pearl, and an 11/0. We're going to come through the other side here. So you see the front part of the clasp, we put the beads through this loop. So now we're going to come through this one. You see how that, if I pull it, see how that puts it on like that? So we're just surrounding that bead. Right, so now it's on. So now you want to reinforce. So let me hold that together. So like that. All right, we're coming out of here. Come through this one. Come through the next one. Right here. So just keep going around, and then you're going to go up your beads again. All right, so we're just reinforcing at this point. So come through. I'm going to turn it around this way. So come through. There we go. Come through the beads again. I know it's kind of hard to see it on camera, but I know you'll be able to see it once you're doing it. So you see that's how it looks. Come down again. Beads on the other side. So now I'm just reinforcing this. I'm making sure to pull it so that those two seed beads sort of sit in there a bit. Okay, and then I'm coming down my unit again. So now I'm on the front of my piece. I'm going to come through this bead. That's one side. So that's the front. I'm going to work my way around this unit here. So I'm going to come through this one, and come out this one. So come through this one. Through this one. Come out this one. Now I'm going to add my other little strand of beads there, or loop of beads. So 11/0 pearl, 11/0. Going to pop through the front of my clasp again. So you see how that puts it on like that? I'm going to turn it around. 11/0 pearl, 11/0. I'm going to come through this one. Okay. Then I'm just going to come around. So come through here. Come up through all your beads again. Come through the loop. Come through your beads again. Across this one. Do you see how that everybody's connected now? So you might want to do that a couple of times just to make sure that everybody is nice and connected. And you can come through. So let's say you do it one more time, if you can fit one more time, and then you're going to come through some of your beads on here and make sure it's nice and secure, and just tie some half-hitch knots like we've been doing around this this unit, and then you have this side of it on. So it looks just like that. All right, so get that done, and then meet me back here, and I'm going to show you to put the smaller loop on, you know, using the toggle on this side. All right, see you in a few. All right, we're back. So let's get this toggle on. So this is if you're using the smaller loop, whether it's the toggle or it's the actual loop you're putting on, you can do it the same way. So we're going to connect to these two seed beads. So a couple of feet of Fireline, stop bead, enough of a tail to sew in. Coming through this bead, like that. Pick up 3 11/0s, a pearl, and 5 15/0s. Come through your clasp. I'm just going to turn it around. Oops, okay, there we go. Turn it around. I'm going to skip my 5 15/0s. I'm going to come through the pearl, like that. so that the 5/15 are going to be the little loop connection there. Pick up 3/11. Come through this bead right here. Okay, so we're just using this right angle weave unit here to do all our connections. So that puts on the first leg of my connection. I'm just going to come around to the front. So I'm going to come through this bead, going to turn it around, I'm going to come through with my stop bead. This one. So I'm just headed to the front again, and I'm going to reinforce everybody. So just go around, make sure you pull it tight so those beads are really covering your loop there. And you know, I'm trying to hold my tail well enough to do that. So then just come around, just do that exact same thing. You'll be coming out of the same spot. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to continue on. So you're just going to, you know, sew through all your beads, come through again. You'll be coming out of here. Going to move over to the other seed bead, this one. So to do that, we have to come around this right angle weave unit. Through this one. Come through this one. And through this one. Okay. I'm going to pick up 3/11. We're going to just come through the pearl and all the 15-ohs. So here I'm coming through the pearl. I'm just putting the other leg on to get a double leg. See that? And then through your 15-ohs. Here, back down, and then through the pearl. All right, and then you want to add 3 more 11-ohs. So you need that last one. So last leg. So here, I'm going to go like that. And then when I pull it, and so you're going to reinforce that too. So when it's done, so see if I pull, you see it makes a nice, strong, heavy connection, you know, thick connection. So you want to make sure you reinforce this enough so that you're nice and secure. I mean, you could even consider putting a wire protector over here. It's a thought. All right, so that's what you're going to do. All right, so that's going to be, you know, both ways of connecting your clasp, depending on what kind of clasp you have. All right, okay, so let's just take a look at our bracelets right now because this video has really gotten long. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so here's our bracelet. Let me grab the earrings. Can I find the earrings? Yes. Okay, here's our bracelet. Here are our earrings. Here's one of our rings. If you want to, oh wait, here, you know what, let's make it match. All right, so here's our ring. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long one. There was a lot going on in this video, a lot of learning, a lot of different steps in this video. Take your time. You can do this. Don't rush. Just do a little bit at a time. And I hope you enjoyed everything, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.